All right, here we are. This is a video put together to help people take the videos from the Fierce games, take them from the SD card all the way to posting them on Hudl. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do, make sure I would um, put the micro SD card into the SD card adapter and then get that mounted on your computer. The first thing we really want to do is to kind of browse the files. So here I am, I'm on the SD card, so we're going to go to the DSIM directory, the 100 media directory. We'll kind of see all the files that are on the camera. First thing you really want to do is kind of go through here and kind of play every file, make sure they look good. That one looks good. Kind of scan through them, make sure there's no bad files, or there's sometimes you're playing around with the camera and you record things you don't want. So if there's any extra files like that, I'd get rid of those. All right, so once we've kind of pruned all those, we're left with the files that contain the actual game film we want to upload. So the key here, there's two things. So every time you start the camera and then stop it, it'll write its own individual file. So if you look here at this one here, this is probably, I don't know, 20 minutes worth of file or of a game or so, and so it's about 1.9 gigs. It may be less time than that, but it's a little bit less. For the others, you can see these ones are 4 gigs. So if you're recording, let's just say you're recording straight for an hour, the max file size, for technical reasons, the max file size you'll see is 4 gigabytes. So if you're recording straight for an hour, it'll split that up into various 4 gigabyte chunks, which is fine. That's how it's supposed to be. It's just a technical limitation. So you'll never have a game file that, if it's 2 30-minute halves, it will never be just one big file. They're all split apart into other files, which is an important point because we have to figure out how to join all these together. Luckily, we're going to cover that in the tutorial. But so the next thing I would do, so SD card looks good. Before we can join them, we need a video editor that can do that. Now, if you already have one, you can use that if you want. I like to use one called OpenShot. So you can see here, openshot.org. OpenShot.org download. This is a free open source file editor, and it does everything we need. You don't have to pay any money, you don't have to do anything extra. It has versions for Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's got versions for every platform. So I recommend doing that, and that's what I'm going to do this demo on. So go get that, download, install it, and then we're ready to go. All right, so next, so here we go. We have OpenShot video editor up. We're ready to go. So you can either, so before we get started, you can either, if you want to leave the files on the SD card and then join them and create a new file and edit them from there, that's fine. I like to copy them over to my hard drive and then edit them because it can make things a little bit faster, but it's up to you. Once you do that, first thing we want to do is go to File, Import Files, and then we'll go to the directory where those files are. You can see all of them here. So all of them we want to, they're part of the same game, we want to highlight, and then we're going to open them to import them. Okay, you can see them all up here on the left. So to join them, so they're all individual now, so we want to make them all the same track. So we need to sequence them in serial so that they flow one to the next. So you can see down here the cursor is track 5. We're going to put them all into track 5. So it's pretty simple. You drag and drop. So we're going to take the first one, drag and drop it, make sure it lines up on the start. You can see it's popped up. So that's the first file. So then we're going to scroll to the end of this one. So we're going to bring the next one and put the next one in sequence. I'm going to line them up end to end. Then we're going to keep doing that all the way to the end. So the next one here, we're going to drag it to the end. It's lined up. Lined up. Lined up. And then the last one. You can see this one here is a little bit shorter. This is the smaller file. I think this one only has about 20 seconds worth of video. So the length of the file on this track here is related to how much time it takes up. You can see on the timeline here, this is how much time it takes. So that's 45, yeah, that's about 20 seconds there. So they'll either be long or short depending on how much is in each clip. That's pretty much it. So now they're on the track, they're all sequenced. You can play through them if you want. I'm not going to do that right now. So once you get it how you like it, now we're going to export the video. So we've got export. So you can give a name. So this was Fierce 07 Girls versus Lone Star 06 Girls. What were they? I think it's Elite North. It doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. This is just the file name we're going to store on your hard drive. Then you can browse your path. This is wherever you want to put it on your computer. So I'll just leave it in my home directory here. It doesn't matter what that is. All right, so the next part here. So when we put all these files together, we can set the quality and how big they're going to be. So I would focus on a couple things. So the target, make sure it says MP4 H.264. For the video profile, I like to select high definition 720p 30 frames per second. That'll decrease the quality a little bit. The resolution will determine kind of how big or how small the file is. So we want to shrink these down so they don't take all day to upload. We're trying to get them down to about 3 or 4 gigabytes. And then quality, you can pick whatever you want. I usually like to pick medium because then it's still pretty decent quality. So I would remember these settings and I would select these for your file. Then next, also to save space, I would do video only. That'll strip all the audio out and then you don't have to worry about that at all. And that's pretty much it. So once that's ready, we're going to hit export and then it'll get going. See if it gets started here. All right. So you can see it'll give you the time remaining, the frames per second, and how much percentage is left. So I'm doing this on a pretty slow computer, so this will probably take, I don't know if it'll take 2.5 hours. It may take 2 hours. So depending on how fast or slow your computer is, it's going to take, like I had a system at work, a really powerful system that could do them in 45 minutes. This one's probably take an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's easy if you just set it overnight and go to bed, or if you just set it in the afternoon and go do something for a couple hours and come back, either way. But it's going to take a while, so be prepared for that while it converts. All right, once this is done, we'll come back and we'll finish it up. All right, now that the files have been joined, we've created a new file. We're in good shape to check it out. So you can see here's the one that the files I joined, this game. You can see it's right around 3 gigabytes, which is a pretty good size. So usually after this, what I do is I'll fire up the video and I'll skip through it, make sure everything looks good, make sure the amount of time is right. And I think my wife missed a little bit on this, about 1 hour and 20, that's about right. So video looks good, got everything on there, so video is good to go. So once this is done, before we proceed, the one thing you really need to do is you need to go on to the SD card and delete the files, because you're going to need the SD card for the next game. So we need to get rid of these files. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to delete them, and so now they're in the trash, right? Once you do that, make sure you empty the trash. So I know this is different but similar on Windows and Mac, but for all of them, make sure you empty the trash and make sure those files are gone. So you have enough space for next time. So everything's gone. Good. So I'm going to eject that, and that's done. All right. Now we're going to go about uploading these. So let me go to, let's go to Hudl. All right. So we've been doing it by training group this year. So those 7 girls are impressed. So what we're going to do is if you go into Hudl, you log in with your login. We're going to go to upload. All right, so you can drag and drop or you can select. I'll select. So here's the one right here. This is the file we just created. So now we're going to open it. You can select more files if you want, but we're already in one file, so we're done. So we're there and we're going to upload. So now it's going to take its time uploading. So it's going to do that in the background, so you don't really have to worry about doing anything else with that file now. But we do need to go and put in a bunch of game details. So over here on the right, so it's a game. Usually you have to add a scheduled event for each one. So we're going to add a scheduled event. So this was a regular season game. We played Lone Star, 6 Girls, Elite, North. We put that in there. The date was October 3rd. The time was 2 p.m. and we were the home team. Just pick that there. So regular season. So added them. So we're there. So make sure you fill in all those details. Then we save the event. Okay, that information is there. Now for extra credit, you can do this, or you can let Nick or one of the coaches do it, but I usually like to go in and do a Hudl assist. Hudl assist is when they fire the video off, and Fierce has already paid for this. They fire the video off to the Hudl team, and they come in and they'll do all the statistics. So we're going to send this in Hudl assist. So send to Hudl assist, and then we'll do save and send to Hudl assist. So sometimes it'll ask you for this. I'm not going to do that. So you want to make sure you can identify the teams, right? So Fierce United was in blue. Lone Star was, I believe, in white. White. There we go. Final score was Fierce United 3, the other team 1. Those are all important details. Then you're going to go and you select all the players that played so they can identify everybody. So I'm going to go in and pick everybody that was on the team that played. Make sure you just pick the ones that are on your team that played in the game, because it should have, there's another team with you in your training group, so it's going to be usually be 2 teams. Let me see. Make sure you count them up. That should be everybody. Yep, that's everybody. So once that's all set, now one thing we missed was the 3rd goal, so I'm going to write a note here. Didn't get 3rd goal on film. Came near end of 2nd half. So what they do with that, right, I don't know, but at least they know where it was. All right, so that is it. So with that, we'll send to assist. So now if we go back, this other tab, you can see it's still uploading. So it's 20% of one file uploaded. So this'll, you just let this run, it'll end on its own. Then it'll show up online. And then eventually, usually within 24 hours, they have all the stats done. And then you're good to go. So hopefully it's simple enough. This is the way I like to do it. If you find a better way or one that works better for you, that's fine as well. But otherwise, if you got any questions, let me know. Thanks.